Hey folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiator, and I've got Pedro San Miguel behind me, also Scholar Gladiator of course, and Free Scholar, he's even wearing the t-shirt there. And I just want to talk briefly about something about curved blades and thrusting. So often you'll see it said that curved blades are not so good at thrusting or can't thrust. If you look at the 19th century sources, they often say curved blades can't thrust. Well, first of all, this is only slightly curved, so they're not talking about this kind of blade. They're talking about a really curved blade, like a 1796 like cavalry sabre, or a talwar, or 1803 pattern, something like this. But I don't have one of those to hand, so we're going to demonstrate it with a less curved blade. So obviously this blade is less curved, but we're going to show that anyway. Now, first thing to say is that curved blades, of course, any pointy object can stab someone. But one of the reasons that very curved blades are given as not being so good at thrusting is because, quite simply, if you extend the arm, the point won't be in line with the arm. Okay? So that means that the point needs to be delivered in a slightly different fashion or from a slightly different angle. Okay? Almost, I won't say in a curved line, but from an angled line, such that the hilt is put out and the point is still on line. And we're going to look at one specific example of where the curve of the blade can actually make it better or easier to get the point onto the target. So first of all, we're going to look at a situation whereby both the swords are crossed in terce. Okay, so I've locked Pedro's blade to my outside, and my blade is locked to his outside. Okay, if I wanted to thrust Pedro on the outside line, I could do that by lifting up my hilt, okay, and thrusting here. Now, if I just move the sword in a straight line, you'll notice that if the blade is curved, it points off to the side. Okay, so in that sense, the curve would not be working with me, but I can make the curve work with me. By, for example, when I extend the arm, lift the hilt up. By lifting the hilt up, I bring the fort of my blade to the foible of Pedro's, and you'll notice that the point goes from being pointing off to the side to now pointing down at the centre of body mass in towards the target. Okay, so in that sense, it's an example of how I can lift the back end of the sword up, and the point will actually come more onto line, at least for centre of body mass. It's not in line with my forearm, but it's still on line to penetrate the target. Another example, okay? If I were to threaten in that line, Pedro might push his sword over here, okay? Giving a pressure that way gives me a few options of what I could do next. A typical example would be if I come here and he pushes up to this side, to then come around that side with my attack, okay? Which would be a form of disengage or cut over. In other words, moving to a new target. However, I can, with a curved blade, still offend the same target I was originally threatening. Because if I extend in a straight line here and Pedro starts to push off there, if I now turn my sword that way into the void, pushing my hand into cut, you'll notice that the curve of the blade now is assisted by that angle. Okay? By turning the blade from here to here and pushing the back end of the sword out, the point is on line, while the back end, just like in the previous technique, the back end of the sword is creating a void. There is a danger of this. Okay? The danger is, normally when I give a thrust in opposition, whether it works or whether it doesn't work, I'm protected by the line of my sword. If, however, I threaten here and then as he pushes there, I switch over there and put the point in, whilst I might successfully stab my opponent, their sword is free to move and free to hit me. Therefore, we must do it with the appropriate pressure. You can only do this, and there's similar techniques in German longsword, this for example. You must only do it when the person is moving their sword this direction. So if you push here and you feel the pressure there, then you can create a void in here, and as soon as you've stabbed the person, immediately come back to cover again. So you mustn't leave the line open, you must close the line again as soon as possible. Okay, so there's just a couple of examples of how a curved blade can actually enable a technique to be more effective in use than necessarily a straight blade would be. Thanks to Pedro for assisting, and I'll see you for the next video. Cheers, folks.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. We've got extra videos on Patreon, t-shirts on Spreadshirt, and I hope to see you for the next video.